What's going on? Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me? How are you?
Yeah,
You
you got
got
some
okay, good
sunshine
man.
coming in,
What's up?
man.
What's going on, comic? I do. I got some sunshine. So I'm gonna introduce everybody first before I knock out my sunshine. It's not. It's the I to. It's a pathway to Peridia, bro. Don't you know?
Yeah.
That's 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 a
You're
connection.
traveling.
Can't you see,
Yeah,
bro?
nice.
I'm traveling, man. I'm
Uh,
going. I'm taking you out of Peridia with me, man. So what's up, guys? This is Hood Rap. Welcome back to the Hood Rap podcast, and I'm gonna introduce my guys here. We're gonna talk a little bit about like helping you guys like connect the dots on what and on what happened in Ahsoka over the last couple of days ago. We're doing it like 3 or 4 days after, so we're not trying to spoil it for you guys. We're trying to we're trying to be good about all that. But we are gonna spoil the heck out of it now. So if you want to jump on the pathway to Peridia with me right now, you can just turn it off and go watch the show and come back. But let me introduce the fellas. And first off, go ahead, Efren.
Hey everyone, it's Efren, or I should say, what's going on, Star Wars Familia? We're going to be reviewing and talking about Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2, and see, hopefully figure out what's going to happen for the remaining episodes. But I love the first 2 episodes. I couldn't wait for this show to come out, and it didn't disappoint. Anybody else here?
All right, man. Well, how about you,
What?
Craig? I'm trying to fix my camera over here.
no, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's Craig. AKA Space Ferret, but just Craig to everyone. But yeah, I love the show as well. I thought it was awesome. It was a good mix of like dialogue and everything you want to see in Star Wars. So let's get into it. Let's connect all the dots.
Let's connect the dots, man. So let me get us back up here real quick. There we go.
There you go. Look better now.
There I go.
Yeah,
There, man. I'm
yeah.
back. I'm
Yep.
back. I'm back from Peridia.
Clear.
Yeah.
Clear now. Yeah.
And let me tell you about the girls at Peridia. Okay? Let me tell you about the ladies at Peridia, bro. So let's get into it, man. I want to let me see here. Here we go. All right, so these are the things we're going to talk about today, man. So these are the kind of things that I think have popped up for not only like people who watch Star Wars and who are used to Star Wars, but just people in general, man, that are not Star Wars aficionados and not Star Wars people. So when these things pop up, you really have to understand. Look at man, I'm still going to Peridia. Look, it's really following me, man.
Just
I
keep
can't get
coming back.
there we go. Look at
There
that.
you
There
go.
we go. There you go. I'm like, man,
Nice.
Peridia just really wants me to come. So see, these are some of the things that popped up, man, that over here that I think are important for us, to help explain. Because for you to really understand what's going on in Ahsoka, you have to be part of the Filoniverse, man. So you had to watch like Clone Wars, which is like super heavy, man. I've been rewatching Clone Wars. Have you guys rewatched Clone Wars yet, man?
A little while
it's
ago, yeah.
Bro, it's heavy, bro. Like people
Yeah,
are
yeah.
dying, people are getting
Mhm.
traumatized, man. Like it's not the easiest show to watch.
Nope.
Because
Agreed.
at first, if you don't have a path to watch it, like it's just totally everywhere. It's like just bouncing from one place to another. But then you have Star Wars Rebel, which is like Filoni's second attempt at animation, and created more of the Star Wars lore, and there's a lot more flow to it. Star Wars Rebels is
Yeah.
like classic Filoni, man. Like it's where he really like gets really good at storytelling. And a lot of the things that is happening in Ahsoka, it pertains to like Clone Wars, and it pertains over to Rebels at the same
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
So, Night Sisters of Dathomir is the first thing we're going to talk about. Then we're going to talk about Lethal's importance to the whole thing about what's going on with in Ahsoka. Then we're going to talk about Darth Sion, because something was said, in there called by Elizabeth. It was Eye of Sion. And then we're going to talk about the three force wielding villains, or I would say dark side villains, right? Force, not
Yeah.
force, but
Or
dark
maybe
side
force
yielding,
sensitive. Yeah.
force
Force
sensitive,
wielding.
whatever they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I don't even know if Skull and and Shinhati are like Sith because they don't
Mhm.
really. They have representations of being Jedi's as well. So we'll talk
Yeah.
about that. Then we're going to talk about the world between worlds, where that wasn't said in Ahsoka, but it really pertains to what's really what's happening, and in the path to Peridia. We'll talk about that as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Craig because he's going to let y'all know a little bit about the Night Sisters of Dathomir. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, the Night Sisters are Dathomir. They go by a bunch of different names, kind of aliases. The witches of Dathomir, the daughters of Dathomir, night witches. Sometimes it really depends, but they come from like all these different aspects of the Star Wars canon, whether it be like legend or anything now that they put in like Filoni verse or anything like that. That's going to continue on in the future. They're all over the place, and they have a couple different um, histories, and they kind of got changed a little bit depending on where you're from. They were featured really heavily in the the new Jedi games that have come out recently on
Mm-hmm.
consoles. They're on the first one, you get to go to Dathomir and you have to fight a bunch of them and then ally with a bunch of them, and a bunch of cool stuff goes on Dathomir with the Night Sisters. But the Night Sisters are they're force sensitive, almost humans. That's how they first like premiered. So they look very very similar to humans, but they kind of have like elongated features. They're they're supposed to be, I think, descended. What the show is hinting at, descended from humans. The one that's in the show, she looks human for the most part, but she's got the markings you can see on her forehead, and that's what kind of gave her away. I think people kind of started hinting at, oh yeah, she must be a night witch or a night sister when she was in the Mandalorian. So they don't use the Force in the same way that the Jedi and the Sith do. They use the Force and they channel it through spells. So they use spells on everything. They can like lift things and move things with the Force, but it's generally created from a spell, and that's how they use it in their everyday comings and goings of whatever they're doing. Um, but they tap into the dark side of the Force to get those spells. At first, it was outlawed for them to use the dark side, and now they have to use the dark side basically because that's all that's left for them to use. But that's kind of the basic understanding of them. There's been a bunch of them throughout Star Wars. Asajj Ventress is a
Mm-hmm.
female from Dathomir,
There
and
she
she was
goes right there.
yeah, exactly. She was a Night Sister, and she kind of morphed and changed. Obviously, she's Dooku's apprentice and stuff like that. So, but there's been a few of them besides her. The most powerful one was Mother Talzin, and she's kind of the one who's responsible for kind of creating what they're known as today and what they do today, like in the Star Wars lore. This one that's on the show, we don't really know too much about. She hasn't been mentioned other than when she was in the Mandalorian and in the show now. So that's like a kind of a
Yeah,
brief overview of them for the most
and
part.
I
I
guess who's
think
go
I'm
ahead, go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead, Efren.
I
Hmm.
was going to put this opinion, see what
Hmm.
Craig thinks. When somebody's force sensitive, that means they can manipulate the force the way they want to. There's Jedi's that use the force a
Hmm.
certain way, but
Yep.
these sisters, they used it and then manipulated their way by using magic and the force.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's super. That's kind of an interesting take because it's almost like you took Harry Potter, right, and threw it
Yeah.
into Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't want to go full like I'm good or I'm bad. They're like, I'm just gonna do spells and do it for what I want to do. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an interesting take on it. That's a good thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and guess you guys remember who this whose mom this is?
Yeah. That's Maul's mom.
This is Maul's mom, man. So
Wow.
Yeah.
these
Hmm.
these these witches of Dathomir are I mean Dathomir in general is a big part of Star Wars, man. Like
Hmm.
I mean, she's the mother of like the ruler of Mandalore at one
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, a guy who just like kind of conquered things on his own. Like he was
Yeah.
just. I wouldn't even call Darth Maul like a Sith. Like after he was killed,
No.
I mean,
No.
after he was killed, that like or chopped in half. He was just like I don't know, man, a corporation, the Darth Maul corporation, just taking
Pretty
over.
much. Yeah.
You know,
Pretty much,
like
dude.
like but yeah, man, I totally agree with you, man. Like the one thing about her is like I think she's maybe using a spell to look human.
Yeah.
Could
do
be.
you guys think about that? I mean, like I'm like looking at her when I saw her the first time, I was like, I was like, and people were saying she's a Night Sister. I'm like, bro, I remember the Night Sisters from the Clone Wars, bro. She don't look
Uh-huh.
nothing like the
Yeah.
Ventress. Like she should look
Yeah.
like the Ventress, right? Like I
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I
Like
was good. I don't know if they're gonna like if Ventress ever comes out like in live action. I personally think that they'll make Ventress look more human
mhm.
because they because if they want to tie it into the Night Sisters, if this is the first glimpse, I think they're gonna want to make her look as human as possible, like this one does. But you could be right. She could just be using a spell and totally change her appearance. Who knows? You know?
I heard some theories, man, that what's this Morgan Elizabeth right here? This
Hmm.
character, like she has, and the Night Sisters, like they have this thing, like this rivalry or anger against the New Republic, and I don't get that because I watch the Clone Wars, man, and the rebels didn't kill off the Night Sisters, bro. It was Count Dooku. You remember that when they were
Oh
trying to
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
when they were training the Ventress, man.
yeah.
Ventress was what had happened is like Dooku was like, you failed me too many times. Now you're gonna die. So he kind of set her up to die, and then she got pissed, and so she went back to Dathomir to get
Yeah.
healed up and trained so she can like assassinate Dooku. And Dooku found out, and he like destroyed off Dathomir. Like
Yep.
so. I don't get that, man. Like if you watch Star Wars, like why would they hate the New Republic, bro? They should be hating the Empire. So,
Exactly.
my thing is like I don't know, man. Like for me, it's like maybe this lady's like maybe we're seeing like how can I put this the best way? Maybe she has other premonitions about going to find Thrawn. Maybe she wants to like just
Hmm.
end Thrawn. She's like, you were part of that, man.
Yeah.
You were part of like you going to Dathomir and like killing off my people. So I need to
Yeah.
find you so I could kill you. Like
Exactly.
it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't make
Hmm.
no sense why they would have something against the Republic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I mean,
That's a good thought because even in the show, she says, "Oh, this will get Thrawn. We're looking for Thrawn," and they say, "Oh yeah, cool, great. We need to find him." She's like, "The sooner the better." So maybe you're right. Maybe like that's why like, oh, get Thrawn here faster so I can kill him, get
yeah, maybe she's
revenge.
just and she's just like, I don't want Ahsoka to go find her. I want to kill
Yeah.
Thrawn.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
kill Thrawn. If Filoni was to throw it that way, bro, that would be
That'd
Filoni
be
would just
sick.
be like he'd be
That'd
like
be
MVP. He'd be the goat.
that'd be
You
sick.
know,
Yeah. That'd be
like
cool.
that. And he knows, man, because he's the one who kind of. I mean, he's not the one who created the lore, because
Hmm.
that was like old
Yeah.
canon stuff. But
Hmm.
he's the one that brought it to canon, so he kind of understands where he wants to go with all of this stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I mean, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I think is she's pissed, man. And that's why she was able to get Balin on
On
board with
board.
her.
Yeah.
Because she's
Yeah.
like, because
Yeah.
Balin doesn't seem like a bad dude, bro. Because remember when
Mm.
she had mentioned to like you should kill Ahsoka, and he's like, man, I don't want
Hmm.
to kill another Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I
It'd be a
thought we had a
shame. It'd be a
deal.
shame. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we had a deal. We can go find, Thrawn and like take care of this fool. Why do I have to kill one of my homies?
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
she's like, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of. It's okay for us to take guesses because we're not telling you to buy shit. You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
just like,
Exactly. Exactly.
like
Yeah.
we're not telling, oh, buy this book because it happened in
Yeah.
here. No,
Go
I'm
buy the
telling
Night
you,
Sisters.
I'm telling you to go start watching season 3. I think it's episode 12 or 13, where like the story of the Night Sisters start
Hmm.
when the Ventress went back to
Yeah.
the Night Sisters. Because the Night Sisters were, I don't know, man. To me, when Ventress left, I think the Night Sisters were like, "Why you gotta take our baby?" Like now you're
Yeah.
back. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's when they kind of like when Ventress came back, like the Night Sisters were like, we're just gonna take over now, you know. So
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
man. Maybe that's just me. I mean, that's my theory, you know. After like kind of like thinking about it and
Yeah.
rewatching, you know, like some of the shows.
Hmm.
So you know, let's see, man. Let's see what happens. But we got some more info regarding. We got this picture. Where did this one come from, man? I've never seen this one before, but I know
I
this is
think
Star
this,
Wars, right?
yeah, I think this is like a Legends or like lore picture that was drawn like a long time ago, because some of them were like, this is what I was talking about when they look a little bit more like human before they
Mm-hmm.
kind of got like changed and started to look a little different, like almost, you know, end up being almost human or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I think they kind of look like this beforehand, and they would start doing these, you know, the all the ritual markings and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
to signify them, right? Because I think what happened in the original lore of it was that a Jedi taught like banished women ways of the Force,
Mm-hmm.
right? She was the Jedi was banished herself, banished to Dathomir, and then taught all these other women that were banished, and that's how they became the Night Sisters,
Wow,
like
I didn't know
Force
that one.
users. Yeah,
That's probably in the book, right?
probably. Yep.
So here we go, man. So this is kind of my recommendation to get
Oh, there you go.
introduced. If you don't want to watch, if you don't want to go read, you know, like the whatever that book is, it's coming up. But if you don't want to
Hmm.
watch it, here's a really good introduction to Night Sisters. It's like the 12th episode of the third season. You
Yeah,
know, and
there you
this
go.
is it's super good, man. Like at least this
Hmm.
episode, because this is where you get introduced to Savage. You know, like
Yeah.
Savage Opress, man. That's like
Hmm.
Darth Maul's brother.
Yep.
Dude, this dude is so sick, man. You know,
Yeah,
like
he's dope.
even his story is sick, bro. Like when he wants to
Hmm.
save his brother, then he
Hmm.
has to end up killing his brother. Like,
Yep.
okay, I'm not gonna give it all. Man, go watch this. Go watch it. It's so good, man. Because I think for me, in for at least for Clone Wars, it really started getting good. Like here around third season, when Darth Maul came back, like third season
Hmm.
around like episode 5 or 6. That's when it started like getting super
Yeah.
good. Like it
Yeah.
stopped getting all choppy. You know, like
Yep.
Filoni was got his groove. He's like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm in my third season. I could do whatever I want. I could strut. Like, what you gonna
Yeah.
do? What you gonna do,
Yeah.
George? Like, you
Exactly.
know, I could do whatever I want now. You know, and then he started his whole little like brought in his witches. You know, like with short
Yep.
skirts and everything. He's like,
Hmm.
you got away with it. You got away with it with Ahsoka. Now I'm gonna start witches now. You know, like with
Yeah.
shorts. You know, he started doing his own thing, man. It's gotten
Yep.
really good after this. You know, and this is when
Yep.
Darth Maul started. I mean, this is third third season and fourth season. You know, even the fourth season is they start going into like you know, in the Mandalore, the whole little
Hmm.
like Darth Maul Mandalore story, like
Yeah.
right there, man. Don't even start from like the first or second, man. Just start like your third season. I'm telling y'all. You know, this is where it all begins, all the good stuff, man. Where people just start getting chopped up, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's good stuff. Um, but then here are some of the books. So
Oh yeah, there
um,
it is.
I've never read this book, and if you go look up this book online, like the originals, these are worth the money, man. Now you know, like these old legend books, like
Crazy.
it's crazy, man. Like I just see these at like dollar bookstores, bro, like just lined up. You
Bro,
know?
I bought every one of the first like the Heir to the Empire. Like I think it was the first like 9 books that were published. I bought them for a quarter each at a
I
thrift
know.
store.
Do you still have
Like
them? That's the
back in
thing.
the day, I have a couple of them, but I got rid of a bunch of them too. I'm like, why am I holding on to these books? I already read them, kind of
It's like
thing.
the
So
little ones too. You know, the ones that are about
yeah,
that big. You know, like
hmm
this is the quarter ones, bro.
yeah.
Like but yeah, man. You if you I've never read the Courtship of Leia. I didn't read a synopsis, but this is where their the lore of the Night Sisters first started. And this is a book I have. I don't even know where their first appearance happened. You know, in comic books. But I know this is a book I have, and when I saw them, I'm like, I remember them, and I went through my books and found this one right here. And this is what's her name? Mother. Do you remember?
Talzin.
Talzin. Yeah, this is Talzin
Yeah.
right here. Darth
Hmm.
Maul's mama, baby
Hmm.
mama right here. You know, like in the book. So, you know, I mean, if instead of like you know buying this book
Hmm.
or buying this comic, just go back over here, man. Just start
Yeah.
watching it from here, and there you
Hmm.
go, man. It's a lot of good stuff. You get a lot out of like those because Filoni's the one that brought them into canon and started the. I mean, they were present, but Filoni started a whole new lore with the Night Sisters that are like totally
Exactly.
separate from this book. You know, like
Hmm.
he started his own thing, but I didn't know about that, man. Like what you had said, like how like a Jedi had taught a woman. like the forces, and she went to Dathomir. I was like, come on, ladies, let's go. Like
yeah, exactly. I think she had enough, or they banished her, and she was like, okay, I'll get my revenge. I'll teach all these other chicks to use the Force, and now you're in trouble, kind of
that's
thing.
sick. I didn't even know that, bro. Hey man, we got not near mid in the house, man. Look at that, man. He's like, you guys are back. Yeah, we're on here time to time, man. When it's Star Wars, bro. That's when I wake up. I'm like, okay, I'm awake. I'm awake. Like Marvel and DC, Marvel and DC, like I'm cool with it, man. But when it's Star Wars, man, I wake up, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I know these guys right here. These guys are experts as well. And I mean, we're not experts, but we just love Star Wars so much that it's just who we are, man. Like kind of it's what brought me into collecting Star Wars all the way, man. So
for sure.
Right, man. Moving on. Oh, wait, one more thing. So right there, the video game, right? They're in the video game too. So
They're
tell
in
me,
the video
man.
game a bunch, yeah.
In the video game, do they explain some of the lore of
Not really. Like it's like kind of touched on when you're like using the character and moving through all the different parts of Dathomir and stuff. You got to there's puzzles and stuff. You got to fight and people you got to fight, and you fight some like Zabrak people. Like Maul's Dathomiri and Zabrak, like the males. You fight a bunch of them. Like when you're on the planet, you have to fight some of the sisters too, and they use like force bows and shoot like spell stuff at you. It's pretty cool. They're featured pretty heavily in the first game.
Oh, sick, man. Yeah, I've never played the video game, so I want to. I got no time. With it, it's just being a grown up sucks, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Let's turn to see what Rob's saying, man. I like the first episode. Still need to watch a second. I hear people complain about things that would be totally cool in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, I mean the thing about Star Wars, man, is people get Rob, I mean there could never be a perfect Star Wars, man. Like I think someone had on the internet, someone had said this, man, like on a Facebook group. He said like, here we go again, another map and another another space map and another bad guy to find. I'm like, bro. People would complain if it was like they would say like where are the space maps and where are the bad guys to find? Like you can't win in Star Wars, bro. Like
no, you can't.
You can't, man. It's like I mean, to me, man, it was like I put 8.5 as super entertaining, and I knew it was a setup.
Yeah.
They had to set up the rest because man, people don't know, man. People have never watched Rebels and people have never watched Clone Wars. Night Sisters, people are like, who the hell are these people? They have to explain it to the normies, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like a jiu-jitsu, man. Go in there and do a arm bar. Like people, what the hell are you talking about?
What does that mean?
Yeah, you got to set things up, man. Filoni's trying to do his best with. I thought it was super entertaining too, man. I was like, okay,
absolutely. It was awesome. I thought like it was the right pacing too.
Right pace.
Super slow. Wasn't super fast. They fast parts, slower parts to explain things, fast parts again. Like it was good. It's good.
They treated us like adults, bro, not like kids. So it's like,
exactly. What do you think, F?
Oh, I loved it. I was going to mention also, you guys. I've been listening to you guys, but I didn't know much about these sisters. So first of all, thanks for the history lesson. And, I was going to mention also the music was on point.
Oh yeah,
totally.
It reminded me of the original Star Wars movies. About the opening scene when that ship came out in space. That was just directly from a Star Wars movie. So it was spot on. The composer and the music, and even the opening scenes. Just brought me. I've been waiting for this show to come out, and I knew they weren't going to mess this one up. I'm sure Filoni and all his cronies were saying, guys, we have one shot. Let's not mess this one up. So
Bruce,
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I love the most is Sabine song, man. Whenever they have Sabine song from they brought it back from Rebels.
Rebels one.
I don't want to sing it. It's anytime she's on. You'll see it when she's looking at like Ezra, like that kind of like Japanese kind of like violin that happens. That's Sabine song from like the Rebels. Okay. I'm like hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. That's why I said, in my Instagram post, this is just season 5 of Rebels. Because Filoni had planned this for like 20 years, dude. This is Filoni. Filoni is just not writing this stuff up, man. He already wrote this book, you know what I'm saying? And he just adapted it as a screenplay,
Exactly.
Rob said if there was a perfect Star Wars, somebody would critique the teeth of the background terror character number 13. That's what I'm saying, man.
That's
Everybody's
right.
always got to critique a show, no matter even
Yeah.
besides Star Wars. Somebody's not going to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm
That's
just
right.
glad that we have these shows that we're available to see them. You know, that's a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, opinions are like assholes, right? That's just
Yeah, everybody got
everyone's
one, bro.
got one. And then, just like Rob hit the nail on the head. It's like, they complain, oh, we want more Luke. And then they give
Oh
more
yeah,
Luke, and they're
King
like,
Luke.
oh, Luke, what's wrong with how
the
Luke looks?
with the
Like,
CGI, bro?
yeah, what do you want,
Like,
dude? Like, you asked for more, I gave you more. Now you're pissed off about it. Like, what?
I know. Give me a
You know?
break, man. You see,
Yeah.
Ahsoka's Filoni's baby. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of this was written in his head over a decade, man.
Yeah.
You know, man, I think you guys can agree because you guys are old guys like me. Hold on, let me get Peridia wants to take me again.
Your
So,
world is always rotating, man.
bro, Peridia wants
creep-
it. Bro,
Yeah.
watch this. Peridia wants me, bro. Look,
It
Rob,
keeps
check this.
it keeps creeping. Yeah.
Rob, see, Peridia wants me, bro. Like they're
Yeah.
telling me to go. They're telling me there are beaches and girls in Peridia, so I'm gonna try and go, man.
The Night Sisters are calling you.
I
Yeah,
know, right? But
they want
well,
you.
what was I gonna? I forgot what I was gonna say, bro. I have no idea what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
But I know, Peridia just threw me off, bro. Well, I have no idea what to say. Okay, let's move on, man. So it'll come back to me. It's all like peanut butter and jelly, man. It always mixes, Like
That's
it's in
right.
my head. So, Lethal, man, I'm gonna hand this off to Efren, man, and I'm gonna chime in when I need to. Go ahead, Ef.
Okay, so I first learned about Lothal, obviously, in Star Wars Rebels. It played a big part in the episodes. I forgot what season, but that's where Ezra's from, and it shows the background of his family, what happened to him, and to me, it's like it was like almost a turning point that the Rebels can win, So and it introduced all these unique characters. By characters, I mean animals who were almost, I hate to say force sensitive, but they knew between good and evil, and they were a major part of them helping them like overthrow, the Empire and in Star Wars. So Lothal, like I said, just plays a big part in Star Wars Rebel, and we keep on going back to this. I mean, Ahsoka is a great series so far, but people, if they haven't seen Star Wars Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels, it really helps out a lot understanding who these characters are, and what they represent, especially Sabine Wren, But yeah, so like I said, Lothal is part of the Star Wars Rebels lore.
Yeah. Lethal's is where we when Lethal like is where Ezra's from.
Yeah,
Like Efren had said, and it's a Lethal. The Battle of Lethal was a very big turning point for Star Wars lore in general. This is Ezra wanted to free his world, and it was Lethal, and it was taken over by the Imperials, and Thrawn kind of knew the rebels are gonna go back to Lethal, so this is where I'm gonna trap them. The rebels knew they were gonna get trapped, but they knew Thrawn was gonna come, so they had their own plan for the trap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They also had Ryder as well over there, putting together his crew on the ground, and Ryder Azadi is actually becomes the governor. I'm gonna let Efren. Do I have that right here, Efren? No, we'll get back to that. But Ryder Azadi was already a ground rebel on Lethal, and so what they did is that without Lethal, what am I trying to get back to? Without Lethal, I don't think the rebels would have won the war, because who would have still been there, right? Who got took by the Purgles, controlled by Ezra, was Thrawn, the greatest, admiral in the Imperial Army. You know what I'm saying? So, or the Imperial, the Galactic Empire. I think with Thrawn, they would have won the War of Yavin. You know what I'm saying? For sure, man. He's the greatest. This guy is the greatest tactician in all the Imperial. And the thing about Thrawn is he's neither Imperial nor rebel. He just kind of follows orders, and he's kind of intrinsically just wants to win. You know what I'm saying? He loves studying people, loves studying the art, loves studying the culture, and then he likes to overthrow the cultures because of that. So without Lethal, and without the victory of Lethal, the liberation of Lethon. Did I say Lethal? But Lethal, the Empire probably. I'm like, this is all, like this is just hypothetical. They probably would have won the war. Like it would have kind of tilted the axe. See, look, Prettia's telling me I'm right, man.
Jeez,
Like, look
yeah,
at it.
exactly.
Look, okay.
It's giving you
Prettia,
the, it's giving
I'm
you
right
the
here.
thumbs up. Yeah.
It's giving me a thumbs up, right? Like so,
Exactly.
it's a huge part of like of Star Wars lore is a thought, So
Yep.
and it kind of brings all the rebels together, the heroes of the heroes of the rebellion, So
Absolutely.
and Purgos, man, like Purgos, bro, like space whales, you know what I'm saying? I think Purgos are gonna play another like very important part in Ahsoka. What do you guys think, man?
I think so, because
Yeah.
they took Thrawn and Ezra to wherever, a new planet or galaxy far, far away, so to speak. So I think they will have some kind of presence when they finally get there and they find them, or whatever they find, they'll be there, And I think I don't know if you guys or somebody mentioned that Ezra had some connection with animals, and that's how he was able to use all these creatures to his advantage, So
Yeah, Ezra, his like I think the part of him in the Force, because like that owl, right? That owl is part of, remember the owl, the little Force owl? Like he
Yeah.
could connect with like all these different animals, especially the Loth wolves and these Purgos who could actually like they worm. I just say the wormhole, right? Like the Loth wolves can wormhole too. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And
Yeah,
the Purgos
exactly.
wormhole home by traveling and like by him getting to know the Purgo or being sense forcitive with like Purgos and the Loth wolves. That kind of took him to the world,
Yeah,
of the
just
world,
like that.
right? Like just like that. Let me see. What do you
Just
got?
like that.
Is that the Force wolf? I mean the Force owl. What's the name of the owl, man?
I don't know. You see the Ahsoka behind me right here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
It came with it. So when you said
Nice.
owl, I
I
had to
call
show
him
it.
the Force owl, bro. The
Yeah.
Force owl or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's a good question. I don't know his name actually. I
Yeah.
forgot. I think he has
Just
a
call
name.
him the
I don't
Force owl, man. Maybe
Exactly.
Rob knows. I'm gonna check the comments right here, man. Let me see. Let's get back to Rob, man. He says, I think J.J. Abrams is filming Hood. Probably is, bro, man. He's jealous, man. He's jealous of the Filoni verse, man.
Could be.
If anybody reads the Timothy Zahn novels, both Thrawn and the Rebels lose to a whole new threat. Yep,
It's very
that's
true.
what I'm saying, man. Like if it wasn't for like the liberation of Lothal, man, like the Empire probably would have beat the Rebels, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then Ezra Bridger can essentially rag into other creatures. Yeah, man. He
Yeah.
can.
Pretty much.
But
Yeah,
it's just not Ezra though, man. I think it's the creatures are also attracted to Ezra because of his sensitivity to them. You know what I'm saying?
Probably. Yeah, I think
Man,
you're right.
because how many times has like the wolves, the Lothal wolves, like saved his ass? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And
Yep.
saved the rebels. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Look at the Purgles, man. Like they saved the asses of the rebels as well, and the Ghost Crew and the
Yep.
rebels. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Together,
Exactly.
man.
And I
So
I think the animals too, especially the ones that are like attuned to the crew, like from Ahsoka, the Rebels crew, they kind of like, you even see it in the show, like Sabine's cat is like knows the difference between like good and evil, is like warning, oh hey, there's a friggin' droid behind you that's gonna shoot you, or whatever it is, it's like hisses at it and she's like, oh cool, like I can take it out, thanks cat. The kind of thing. So yeah.
So let me read a little bit about the Purgo, man, just so I talked a little bit about them. The Purgo is a unique, enigmatic species in the Star Wars universe. They are space-faring creatures with distinctive appearance that represent whales and manta rays. The Purgo are known to communicate through a form of sonar, emitting musical and harmonic signals, and other members of their species to understand. Let me see here, man. They're known to be force-sensitive creatures. Their force sensitivity is one of the factors that contribute to their ability to navigate and travel through hyperspace. So, for what I learned about Purgos prior, is that Jedis used to force-sensitive Jedis like Ezra used to travel with them, and that's how they were that's how they were able to create, like Jedis created the hyperspace
Exactly.
through the Purgo. You know what I'm saying? So the Purgos don't know, bro. The Purgos were like, Ezra can communicate with them like Aquaman can communicate with fish. I guess.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, take us to a place no one ever been in, his own little Jedi force sensitive ways. Like, man, let's take him to to Peridia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
like they knew where to go where no one can find them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But we'll get into Peridia, man. I have my own theories about Peridia. I know you got your own theories about Peridia, but I want to talk more about like them because the Loth wolves could do the same thing, man. So and we're gonna talk
Mhm.
about wolves as well in down the line as well, man. So let's keep moving, man. Hey, thanks, Efren, for like explaining Lothal, man, and the importance it has to do with Star Wars in general, man. Because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the liberation of Lothal, man. So,
Yeah.
and there you go, man. Ryder, go ahead, Efren.
Yeah.
So this character, Ryder, he's portrayed by the same actor actually in Star Wars Rebels and Ahsoka, Clancy Brown. And besides him, I think the only other character, just a little side note, is Katie Sackhoff. She's the only other actress that I know of who was on Star Wars and actually live action. So he was basically like the rebel leader of Lothal, and he would just keep things going, trying to overturn, from what I remember, trying to overturn the Empire. But it took, the gang from Star Wars Rebel to come help him. And he led basically the insurrection of Lothal for freedom. He was always like the lead rebel person, and he kept it afloat, so to speak, until he got more help. And, he was a pivotal person or character in Star Wars. I don't think it was for him to keep it going, to trying to overturn, the Empire. They wouldn't have succeeded in overthrowing Lothal at the end, So, and now he is like the governor of Lothal, because he was introduced in episode 1 of Ahsoka. So, and I love this actor, Clancy Brown. He's a great character actor. He's been in so many shows. He's got a deep, rich voice. So once I heard him in the show Ahsoka, I went, "Oh my God, they kept him," which was cool,
Yeah.
No,
He's
it's
the
awesome,
best.
man.
He's the best. I love him so much.
Yes.
He's if anyone's throwing it way back, he's the Kurgan in Highlander.
Yeah.
There can be only one. Like he's I love him. Yeah. And here's a super deep cut for him. He did an episode of The Outer Limits. You remember that TV show? It's kind of like the Twilight Zone. It's like
I remember that. Yeah.
He did an episode of Outer Limits where he's this soldier. It's the best episode of that entire series. It's so good. It's really, really good. Check it out.
Dude, he's just a great actor, man. Like he's been
for sure.
He's been in so many damn movies, bro. Like, yeah, he's awesome, man. It's good to see him in Star Wars too, man. It's good to see Ryder as well, man. I always like Ryder because he always wear like kind of like the rice hat, rice hat. That's how I had to put it there, bro. I was like, when I seen him in Ahsoka, I was like, that's a rice hat dude, right? So yeah, Rider of the Storm, bro. All right, go ahead, man. Sion.
Okay, so this is
you guys need to listen. You guys need to listen because this theory is dope. This
is a new creation for this show. Like the Eye of Sion is this ship, the circular ship, and it's very like reminiscent of what the Jedi had to use for their starfighters so they could travel through hyperspace, because their starfighters they were too small to house like a hyperspace engine. So they would link up in a ring like this, and they could travel through hyperspace. You set out in a bunch of the movies, Attack of the Clones. Obi-Wan uses one to get to Kamino and out of Kamino. So it's very similar looking, except this thing is a million times bigger. This is a ship itself, and it has 3 hyperdrive engines. And they named it the Eye of Sion, obviously, because it's round like an eye, right? But this is the ship that they want to the Night Sister and the other 2 former Jedi, Balin and his Padawan or whatever. They want to take this to go and get Thrawn. That's the purpose of this ship. And I mean, the only reason that I can think of that they named this the Eye of Sion is a callback to the character who's on the screen next to him, Darth Sion. Yeah, that one right there. Darth Sion was a super, super powerful Lord of the Sith, and he looks broken and fragmented is because he died several times throughout a bunch of the Star Wars, not canon, but lore and legends before. And the only thing that's holding him together is his sheer will, because he hates weakness. So he doesn't want to consider himself weak. he's holding his body together, and he can bring himself back to life through a sheer hatred of weakness. And I think they're calling it the Eye of Sion is because this ship is built from all these other parts, all the Star Destroyers and all the everything after the Empire fell out, and they're putting it together like he puts his body together. So I think that might be something that they're kind of hearkening back to, and that's why they named it that. That's just a thought. No.
So we're probably not going to see Sion. Sorry, guys.
I wish. He's awesome. He's cool. Look up his lore. His lore is awesome.
You got to see that in KOTOR. KOTOR.
Yep. Yeah. Nice old Republic.
All the old school guys know what I'm talking about. KOTOR.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
What type of creature was Sion? Was he human or humanoid or?
He was a human. Yeah, he was a human.
Right.
And yeah, he's just extremely powerful and just hated weakness. So that's why he's like, pulled himself back together after he died.
Bro, I want to go back and play my Knights of the Old Republic, bro. I have it.
Oh yeah, dude. You
but
should.
I know, man. I gotta get the old Xbox 360. I gotta find one of those. Yeah. That's the only thing, dude. Like I gotta find one of those things.
Dig in your attic. Yep.
Bro, those are so sick, bro. Like it was
that game was
Darth
so
Revan.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Bro,
Malik.
Yep. And all the old guys, man. So let's take a look at this. Go ahead.
I have one quick question for Craig. So it's called the Eye of Sion. Now, I'm just throwing weird things out there. Do you think part of him is in the Eye of Sion?
I don't know. That would be really cool if that's the case, or maybe his, because like Jedi and Sith can like store their knowledge, right, in like holocrons. So maybe like they found a holocron and they named it after that. Yeah. Also, too, he's got like one like crazy like dead fake eye.
Yeah.
So maybe they named it after that.
Oh yeah,
that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll find out.
I like the theory. I like the theory where you said they put this, they kind of like rank shop with this thing together like he is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hope that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like hire me as a writer on Star Wars then.
I know, bro. Hey man, I'm gonna throw something at you. So watch this theory, right? So we have the male. So here's a quick description of Sion. So the male human who would become Darth Sion lived in the time of the old Sith Wars around 4000 before the Battle of Yavin. So BBY means just Yavin.
I thought that was before Baby Yoda.
Before Baby Yoda, I know, right?
It could be.
Could be. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Sion, which may have been his given name, was for a long time susceptible to infirmity and pain, much the same way as any other person. Combined together, they were intolerable to him, and he lived a life steeped in hatred. And I just put this right here. Where does the timeline fit for Ahsoka is 4,000 years later. 4,000 years later. So, man, I'm gonna throw this. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke weed. I don't do mushrooms and all that. So I just want to let you guys know. So, hey, man, we're dealing with the Purgles who can like jump between time, maybe space. The wolves can jump between time and space as well. And Ezra's like force sensitive with all these people. So, what if like he took Thrawn back 4,000 years to a place called Peridia, and like Thrawn's just jacked up, man, because they're going hyperspace, bro. And the windows are broken, and he got all shattered, and then for some odd reason he got force sensitive on the way, and he just has to hold himself together because he just hates being in pain, and he's Sion, bro. I'm just saying I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing that out there because I was thinking about this. I was dreaming about this the other day. I was like, that, man, because I mean, the last time I think I saw like them traveling through space, like he had some holes in himself, right? Or I don't know. I haven't watched the last episode of Rebels in a long time, but I remember like there was like some bruising or like there might be holes or I don't know. Maybe I forgot.
Maybe.
But maybe, I mean, we're talking about like, remember we had talked about the world between worlds, like, and that's how the Purgles can, that's how they travel is between the world between worlds, and the world between worlds is just not like space, it's time as well. So, and then, I mean, this all came to me because, the whole Indiana Jones thing where Ahsoka did in the beginning that everybody complains about, like that's an old relic temple from like 4,000 years ago. maybe 3,000 years ago. Maybe,
Yeah, who knows?
maybe like the witches are like, yo, man, like we need some help out here, witches,
Yeah.
witches in the future. We need some help. Here's the road to get here.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that's a
Like
yeah pathway through time too, right?
we got
Yeah.
this jerk called Thrawn. Now he's Scion or whatever he is. Like we need some help. You know what I'm saying? Like like he's ruling us and he's making us help. We're trying to. He's making us keep them together. Like through our spells. Like.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that, man. I mean, I think
That's a
Filoni,
good,
man.
that's an interesting theory, dude. That's real deep. That's cool. That would be awesome to see.
Bro, that would be dope Filoni shit, right?
Yeah,
And that'd be
cool.
like he could create this whole new universe of Star Wars. Okay, you going to Peridia, like I'm not the first one to say like Peridia could be like this whole new concept of Star Wars that Filoni has created for himself, so he doesn't have to abide by canon or like rules or the Skywalker lore or Darth Vader again. Like I'm done with that shit. I'm gonna do my own thing. So like this whole Peridia thing could just be like this whole battle against this new like Sith.
Yeah.
And we're thinking these witches are bad, but these witches are like the new Jedi and shit. Like Disney, they love the whole woman thing now. Like I'm good with
totally.
it too, as long as you make a good story. Like don't put like politics in front of good story making. If you can make a good story with like a woman hero, bro, I'm all down with it. But if it's a bad story with a woman hero, could have been done with a male hero, I'm good with it. But you call these, I don't know, but better. But other than that, like, wouldn't it be dope to have like cool witches, witches that are like Jedi, like force sensitive, going against like this fucking crazy like Sith Lord named Thrawn Scion? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like the. And see, the good thing about this channel is we're not telling you to buy books. We're just telling you our crazy ideas because we're just naturally on mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. I'll tell you to buy books. Just buy any Star Wars comic you want. That's what I'll tell you to buy.
All the ones with the cool covers, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how I started, bro? I was buying every damn cover with with Boba Fett on it, just like you did, bro. Give me Boba Fett all day. That's all you gotta do. That's how you should start. Start with your Boba Fett and move on from there.
There you go. Good advice.
But we'll get there, man. So you got my whole little take on like the world to world and stuff, man. So and I didn't do any drugs, okay? So all right, guys. And then we got her. So we talked about it a little bit. I kind of like talked about my theory. My theory is I think she's pissed, man. She's like, yo, man, like Thrawn and the Empire. I need to get my revenge because he destroyed my world. And now she's going back to my past and trying to destroy my world, my people altogether. I need to go there and save it. So I need to get there before Ahsoka because Ahsoka doesn't know. Yeah. I want to be the end of this. I want him. Yeah. He's mine, not Ahsoka's. Yeah. So that would be dope, man. I think that would be. I think people would be happy. I don't know, man. Filoni, what do you think, Filoni? Filoni, you got like 3 guys you can hire here, man. Like get all these like crazy theories we're throwing out there, man. So, but yeah, man, I think he's but maybe she's going there because I don't know, maybe like she wants to be part. Maybe it's like what conventional thinking is saying. Like, yeah, she wants to go and get Thrawn back so she can have more power. I don't know. It could be either way, man. To each his own, man. She wants to get Thrawn covers. I want to get Boba Fett covers. So like, hey,
exactly.
Own, so crazy theory. So moving on, man. So these 3 guys, man. So we got Malik, Balin, Skull, and Shin Hati.
Yeah.
Shin Hati. So let me read you guys, man. So don't hate me, man. I used AI. I'm gonna be transparent as hell. I asked ChatGPT, man. I said ChatGPT, man, like here are 3 names, and I know they were like from like the Norse, the Norse mythology. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Beowulf and shit. Like I mean, when I was a kid, Beowulf was like the dopest story ever, man. So I was like, throw these words together and try to find some type of like connection between them. So I'm gonna read you what Mr. ChatGPT said. Shit makes sense, man. It'll make more. It doesn't. It makes sense, but it may kind of like brings together this whole like wolf thing. You know what I'm saying? So, Merrick is a variant of the name Merok, which is believed to be derived from the Old Norse words Mayer, meaning famous or renowned. Merrick is often associated with the legend of the Fisher King and is sometimes depicted as a werewolf figure in the Arthurian legends, blending Norse and Celtic influence. So what happened with this Fisher King is that a knight became a wolf that searches for stars or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Skull is in Norse mythology. So we're talking about Skull now, like Balin Skull. So we're just using his last name. Skull is Norse mythology. Skull is a wolf that is said to chase the sun. Chase the sun, man. Skull is one of two wolves that pursue the sun and the moon in an internal cycle. And what is the other wolf's name is? Hati. So we're talking about Shin Hati. Hati is also known as Hati Hruvenstinnesson, is another wolf in Norse mythology. Hati is said to chase the moon across the night sky, similar to the skull. Hati is part of the cosmic wolf duo that is believed to be destined to catch and consume the sun and moon during Ragnarok, the apocalyptic event in Norse mythology. So they represent the internal cycle of the sun and moon in their pursuit to symbolize the passage of time, impending apocalyptic events of Ragnarok. The name Merrick, while not directly part of the celestial duel, shares a common theme of wolves in mythology.
Huh. That's pretty interesting.
We're talking about a knight that became a wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So are we talking about like a Jedi Knight that becomes a wolf? You know?
I mean, he was a Jedi Knight, right? Like he was. Well, I don't know if they didn't say he was a knight directly, but they said that he was a youngling, right? And he grew up in the ways of the Jedi.
We're talking about Merrick.
Yeah.
Merrick.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think all three of them were supposed to be like, well, her by proxy because she's his Padawan, but I think the other one is too. So I don't really know. There's not enough information. They didn't give us enough information about any of their like backstory, even just little blurbs about it or anything to really like say. But that's pretty interesting that came up with that, because that's sounds like you could connect those dots pretty easy, right?
So a wolf that chases the sun. So Balin is a wolf that chases the sun. Hati is a wolf that changes the moon. And then Merrick is a knight, a once knight. We say like Jedi Knight. Could it be like Ezra? Was Ezra even a Jedi Knight? Ezra wasn't even a Jedi Knight.
I don't think
he was
so.
a Padawan,
No.
bro.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm thinking, man, like like the general consensus between like in the nerd world is that Merrick is Ezra. Bro,
Yeah.
that's just too easy, man. Like if Filoni was to make that happen, bro, I'd be like, bro, that you made that shit too easy, man. Like, like
Yep.
garbage.
I agree.
Man. Garbage.
I agree. Yeah, reach a little bit farther, right? Like that's like anyone that conclusion can totally be that, but like why would he want to be somewhat evil now or somewhat Sith now, or however you want to classify that? Like, what's the reason for that? There was no reason. There would be no reason for him to do that at all. So.
But we could say that okay, let's talk about Merrick first, right? So Merrick is this dude right here. Is Snake Eyes, right? That's what I call him, Snake Eyes, bro. Snake Eyes. So Merrick is is a ex-Jedi Knight that is chasing a star, right? So I mean Jedi Knights like Kanan, anybody? Maybe? I mean, did we even see Kanan die? Like,
I don't think so.
I didn't see Kanan die. I saw Kanan holding back the fire, bro.
Yeah.
He let go.
Did he die?
He let go. Remember, he let go so Syndulla could escape, but then he let go. And then
he let go.
Fire engulfed him.
But didn't he have a kid too, bro? Like, what was his name? He was like Spectre, like 6, right? Like,
they had a kid. I don't remember the kid's name.
I don't know, man. Who could this be, man? Like a Jedi Knight, like in the Filoni universe. In the Filoni universe,
they may never say who he is. They'll keep everybody in suspense. They may never admit who he is.
Yeah,
but
they haven't
man. Okay, we're gonna get there, man, because I have another like I have another like off the wall like mushroom theory on this. Okay, like you guys gonna laugh, bro. But I'm just trying to connect the dots, man. That's what the name of this whole thing is, connect the dots, right? So Balin, man, he's a chaser of the sun, right? Like that's the name of his name is his last name is Skull. So he's a chaser of light. So could he be a good guy?
Well, he was definitely a Jedi. They said
Yeah.
that before. Grew up in like as a youngling or whatever. Oh, as a youngling, he constructed this lightsaber. That's what the droid was saying. And and what's interesting is if you look at both of their lightsabers, not Merrick's, but the other two, they're not red. They're orange.
They're orange. Yeah, they're orange.
They're not red. So maybe that's like hinting that they're turning to the dark side, but they haven't quite done it yet. They haven't expressly said it. He doesn't want. I don't get the sense that he just wants to go in and slaughter people like Sith who oppose him. He wants to give them like a fair shake, right? First, like, oh hey, like, come on board with me, like, be hip to my ways. Otherwise, I'm gonna shank you.
Yeah.
I think he's a survivalist because he knew what happened to the Jedi. They all basically got killed. So either he was going to stay with the Force, the old Jedi, or he was going to have to change and adapt to what's happening in his reality now. So I don't think to me, he doesn't seem like a bad guy per se. He's just in certain circumstances where he had to change to survive.
Yeah.
Bro, I just think, I'm the same way, man. I think Balin just needs to make a living, bro.
Basically.
Like like the Jedi's ain't making money, bro. Like look at Ahsoka, bro. She just lives in her ship. It's like living in your car. You know what I'm saying? Like Balin's just like, I'm a contractor, man. I'm just, like, tell me what you need. You know what I'm saying? So I still think, he's a chaser. So I'm just trying to remember this through the show, right? Like, this is a chaser of stars right here. This is a chaser of stars. This is a chaser of light. And she's the chaser of the moon. You know what I'm saying? And like, what would moon like mythology be? Because we know chasing the light's like knowledge, right? Knowledge and it's not like chasing good, but chasing knowledge, right? Knowledge and the wonderment and all this stuff. Like the moon is like, to me, like, I don't know, it controls tides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gravity, like it's part of gravity. Like
the stuff
power?
that you can't see being controlled,
or like mysticism, like the witches and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like, because to me, man, I don't know, man. She reminds me of Kylo Ren the way she fights. You ever notice that?
Yeah,
that whole little brute thing, man.
Exactly. She's not suave at all.
No,
she's very. She's linear. If you look at her, she's very forceful. He's way more nuanced.
He's smooth. He's just like, he don't even move, bro. He's like super efficient. When he was walking in the beginning.
Oh, in the hallway.
Bro, you see it? He was just like this. Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, he like didn't even try.
Bro, she's just like, using all this energy, bro. I'm like, dude, man. I was like, you didn't watch. You haven't watched episodes. Episodes.
You have to remember, she's younger too. So
exactly.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know really. She knows how to use her power, and she's getting there little by little. But she's young, so of course she's going to be erratic and more just in your face.
Yeah, she doesn't have as much experience. Exactly. Like
Now, was she a Jedi also in training, a Padawan, or was she?
She doesn't. They didn't say.
Right.
She calls him master.
Yes.
And she has a Padawan braid.
Yeah, a little braid.
You got a braid. Okay. So I'm assuming, that's maybe what that's signifying, or maybe she was a Padawan and then they just realized, oh, you know what? I don't like the Jedi anymore. We're going to go do our own thing. And she just kept it. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, I'm still trying to figure her out, man. I don't have a theory built up, but I know she's a chaser of the moon. So I'm going to look that up, man. I'm going to look up the mythology of moon. Because Filoni's really good at that, man. What I really enjoy about like this is that we have this like Norse mythology going, then we have this like samurai mythology, Japanese film thing going, man, with the cherry blossoms, bro. Like, he's using all these different like mythology. It's like all right in front of us. We just got to do the research, man. Or maybe just not and just get surprised, you know. But
Yeah.
we can't leave it alone, you know. Like
No,
us,
no, we
that'd be
can't.
boring, bro. That'd be boring. That would be boring, dude. So, all right, man. So here we go, man. Here we go.
There you go.
Remember, I didn't do any drugs, and I didn't do any mushrooms. I don't do drugs. You could drug test me now, man. I'm clean.
He's a
Okay.
shapeshifter.
All right. So no, so we're talking about like this guy's once a night turned into a wolf. So everybody wants to think, man, like this is Ezra, man. This has to be Ezra, man. Like they flipped Ezra. Like that's the consensus all over the world right now, bro. Like Star Wars world. Yep. Me, man, we're talking about like witches, right? We're talking about Dathomir, right? We're talking about all this mysticism. We're talking about like, you know, like double lightsabers. This Darth Maul, bro. That's Darth Maul. That's Darth Maul, bro. Darth Maul's back.
Wow.
How to
I'm
get
just saying. I'm just saying. Darth Maul's back.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good way to hide those robot legs. That's what I'm saying.
The witches brought his legs back.
Oh, okay.
Remember in Clone Wars, the witches could bring him back to life, dude.
That's true.
You know, like
that's true.
And the thing about like the witches, man, the witches. So we all know that the Empire comes back, and that's how we have episode, you know, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, right? That's why we have episode 7, 8, 9, right? I mean, bro, they had to bring back Palpatine, help bring Palpatine back, right? Like, we know this is all bad for the Empire. You know, I mean, all bad for the rebels. They're gonna lose Coruscant, you know, because you know, like whatever the what they called in 7, 8, 9. I forgot what they were called. The First Order. Remember the First Order took out Coruscant? Remember, like we know Coruscant is dust. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, this is all. I mean, you know, no matter how Filoni wants to go, he has to ride the ship, man. He has to. It has to be to where like the First Order comes back, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Moving.
You need witches to help Palpatine come back, and you have witches to bring back, you know, like their son, you know, their son, bro. You know, the mama's son is Darth Maul, bro.
Darth Maul.
If they were, and you know, and the thing, I mean, for me, you know, I'm not doing any drugs, man. I'm just throwing it out there because I'm not trying to buy you guys books or nothing, right? So, you know, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to like sell an idea, man. You know, it's like Filoni loves to bring his guys back, man. And even though Darth Maul wasn't Filoni's guy, Filoni created Darth Maul.
Exactly.
I'm not the only. Am I the only one that thinks that?
No,
you know?
he created him. Like for sure, he created him.
We only saw Darth Maul for like what 10 minutes, bro, in episode 1, bro. Then after that, it was all Filoni. That's Filoni's character, man. Like he gave him the personality. He gave him the history, bro. He had him walk around like a spider and shit for like you know for a couple episodes until he got his feet back, and then ran him all the way through like you know, like Rebels. You know what I'm saying? To like the last season where Obi-Wan supposedly had killed him. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, but if Palpatine could come back, bro, so could Darth Maul. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
You're right. I mean, it's very, very well could happen because also too, don't forget, I don't know if it's still considered canon, but Darth Maul shows up at the end of Solo, the younger Han Solo story. So
he did. Yep.
Yep, and he's got his crazy ass like spider legs in Solo. So I mean, maybe like, you know, they retrofit him with the other legs, or they able to bring back his bottom half, or maybe he's a clone. Who knows,
bro? But this is all about it's all clones, bro. What are they doing in like in Mandalorian, bro? That means making clones.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we're gonna have the super clone, like, you know, Palpatine, bro. Like, that's who I would be if they were to bring Darth Maul, bro. I know a lot of people would be pissed, but I'd be like, that's original, man.
Yeah.
You know, like you flip
that very well could be. Yeah.
Because
I mean, look at his lightsaber too, right? Like he's used to fighting with the double-ended lightsaber.
Yeah.
Bro, and if you watch him fight, bro, he fights like Darth Maul. Watch. But I was like, dude, that was Darth Maul. That was a Darth Maul move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All he's got to do is that crazy like butterfly kick that Darth Maul does. Where he flips,
dude.
Like, and then it's sold. Then it's him.
It's sold, bro. Bro. And that's why he needs a bigger helmet. Look, man, he needs a bigger helmet because the horns.
That's right. The horns on the top of his head. Exactly.
Horns, bro. Like,
hey, look at you. You are on mushrooms.
Yeah.
You are, like, bro.
I'm just kidding.
Man, I mean, maybe just wishful thinking, man. But you know, like, it would be dope, man. I'm thinking night he's not a knight, but he's a knight of the Sith. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay,
Close enough.
if this happens and if we find out, obviously you're going to save this video and you're just going to cut this clip and saying I knew before anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, man, it can't be like episode, like the new episode 7 through 9 or whatever it was, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was so predictable, man. It was like, dude, like don't treat us like adults, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like just throw us out there, man. You have to go for the home run, Filoni. Go for the home run, man. Like stop going for base. I mean, Filoni goes for home runs though. That's the thing about Filoni is like Clone Wars, like Rebels. It's like he took us on a whole nother route, man. He was just like, okay, I'm gonna swing for the fences with these, man. I don't know if y'all want to come with me. You know what I'm saying? And he hit home runs. You know what I'm saying? Like, Filoni, take us to another universe because I'm tired of Skywalker. I'm tired of like following the, like the old, like chase this, chase that, Darth Vader this. Let's go to a whole nother world of Star Wars, man. Like, let's bring it on. Like, and if this is, and okay, I'm gonna hold myself because I have another theory coming up, man. So
Get ahead of himself.
I have a lot of theories going on, bro.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
All right, man. Tell us about the cat, Efren.
So, Loth cats also are part of Lothal's lore, and they also just, if you've seen Star Wars Rebels, you see they come out there and they also help out Ezra and the rebels, and helping them just overthrow it. They almost seem like the wolves, and even the whole planet seems force sensitive for some reason, or there's a strong connection with these animals and Ezra, maybe because they're from the same planet, obviously. But let me read you a little bit about them. It says, Loth cats were a non-sentient member of the feline Tuca species native to Lothal, often found in the grassy plains of the Outer Rim planet. They were small, temperamental characters, and while at times friendly, were still able hunters with sharp teeth and claws. They were carnivorous and were known to feast on Loth rats. And behavior, says most of Lothal is just seamlessly endless grasslands. Oh, this is the planet. Let me see. They were very persistent hunters and could stalk their prey for hours or even days. Loth cats lead solitary lives, coming together only to mate and raise kits. Loth cats, when cornered, are very dangerous and would fight against their would-be predators, most of the time going for the face until they escaped or the aggressor backed off. They wouldn't typically attack creatures larger than themselves, although it's very difficult. Loth cats can be domesticated and they make good, albeit destructive pets. So yeah, but they always seem to know, like they sense that between good and evil, like a lot of the animals on Lothal. I love this picture of these cats. They come to life. We always see them in the animated series, and this is part of what makes Ahsoka special, because they show characters that we've only seen in one part animated, and they actually come to life. So yeah, these are pretty cool characters. I love the way they have created characters, new characters basically for Star Wars. Filoni, got to hand it to him. He's a genius when it comes to this.
But Star Wars, man, they always, in every new movie or new series, they have to have like a little animal they can sell.
Yeah.
Like merchandise.
Yep.
I like this, bro, because remember that little owl? Remember the owls in in like Force Awakens or whatever, Last Jedi? I hated those things, bro. I'm like, oh, dude, I know. You knew what they were trying to do.
The porgs? The
porgs when Chewie would eat them and cook them and shit.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
I was like, bro, I hated those things, man. I was like, because you knew what they were doing. They're trying to sell that to the little kids.
Yeah, for sure.
But this, they're trying to sell this to little kids, but this looks cool.
Yeah.
This is like not cute. It's like not cute.
Yeah.
Looks like a grandma or grandpa. I'm like, I like this thing, bro. This this little cat, bro. This Loth cat. I buy this Loth cat, man. I buy a Loth cat. Wouldn't you? If you were to go to Disneyland right now, bro, and I saw a little Loth cat, my son was like, Daddy, can I have one? Yeah. If it was a porg, I'd be like, son, like, you're not my kid no more.
You can't have that.
Bro, you're not my kid no more. You want a Loth cat, bro? Like, you're my son. That's my son. That's my son. And he knows what's cool. Like these Loth cats are cool. And they had these at San Diego Comic-Con too, remember, F? Like in the box, yeah, they had him in the little box, the little Loth cat. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I remember, because then I saw, I was like, I remember this thing from Rebels. This is kind of cool, man.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but it looks like an old Filipino lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, just saying, looks like one of my aunts, bro. Like, like just saying, man. Like that's why maybe I like it a lot too, man. Like little
That's
Hawaiian lady right
awesome.
there, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they're cool though, man. They're cool, man. And
They're
Yeah,
cool, but they're smart. They're smart. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not like a typical animal, obviously.
Yeah.
I think these loth animals, man, are they're like force sensitive.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Ezra,
for
man, he
sure.
was connected to all these little animals, bro, and they were taking him to places they're taking him to places like he was on mushrooms. Like
But
Yeah.
I also
you know?
think I'm sorry, but I also think they were sensitive to Ezra because he was from that planet, and so were they. So there's that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
man.
you're right, for sure.
Awesome, man. I like
Yeah,
it,
those
man.
are cool. Those are cool.
Thanks for telling us a little about this, man. I'm gonna go buy one now, bro. I'm gonna go to Target, like go in the Star Wars section. There's probably like 20 of them because no one bought them, but
Yeah.
I'll
Buy
buy
'em all.
one. It's like, no, man. I was like, you got 20, now you got 19. You know what I'm saying? Little loth cats, dude.
Yeah, they're cool.
So, all right, man. So the world between worlds, man. So
Hmm.
let me see here, man. This one. Let me see here. I have it in here, man, somewhere. So the world between worlds is I think super important to Ahsoka, because the path Peridia kind of runs through this world, world between worlds. I think this is how the Purgle, the space whales, this is kind of how they get from one section to the other. If you guys want to see the first time this was ever aired, this was aired in season 4 of episode 13. And if you've never seen this, if it wasn't for the world between worlds, we wouldn't have a Ahsoka show. You know what I'm saying? Remember? Because remember Ezra's like, come here. And he grabbed he's like Ahsoka. And he grabbed the Ahsoka bow before Darth Vader was about to chop her in half. Because I remember that in season 2, man, because in season 2 was like, the big temple, you know what I'm saying? Where Sion, is that planet was where Sion was from. I forgot what the planet was. You know what I'm saying? But Darth Vader and Ahsoka met up and they had a little, they had to have a fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Best friends, bro.
Yeah.
Best friends have to get, they had to squash the matters, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
And first, Ezra left, and then we saw the big temple close, and then it didn't even come back until season 4, man. Of Rebels, and that's when Ezra was seeing, he was kind of walking around these little paths right here, and he went up to one of these triangles and saw in these little windows and saw Ahsoka about to get chopped in half, man, and he pulled her out. And is this the first time we ever met the little owl, or was the little owl in Rebels before? Do you remember? I don't remember, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
remember.
I think the little owl was kind
remember.
of flying around in there, though. I don't know, man. Someone will let us know in the chat or let us know in the in the comments, man. Something happened there. But the reason why I bring, I want to talk about the world between worlds. This wasn't mentioned in Ahsoka, by the way, is because this place is like it is a mystical dimension of the Force that connects all space, but not just space, but time, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is where my theory kind of runs. Like, we're not looking for a place called Peridia. We're looking for a time of Peridia. You know what I'm saying? This may not be a universe. This may be like, a time way back when Sion was alive. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eye of Sion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not, that's kind of, we're talking about like, before like this episode of Ahsoka, Sion was just still like a legend. Now he's like canon. He was a legend. He was a legend like 4 days ago. And now he's, when we talk about legend, it means non-canon. He was just like, it was just a legend to us, he was never part of like the Star Wars canon. Now he's part of Star Wars canon. So it's like Filoni trying to tell us like, we're not going to a place, we're going to a time. You know what I'm saying? And and we're talking about time, what is the comics doing right now? We're doing like, the Old Republic. What's it called? The High Republic. And how long? That's like 2,000 years ago, right?
Yep.
Like, we're jumping time now, man. We're going back in a time, like, where we can actually explore, like, the Old Republic, stuff that happened in the video game. Darth Revan. And who was Darth Revan's apprentice, master? What was his name? Come on. We had Darth
Um,
Revan. We had
Malik.
Malik. You know what I'm saying? We have
Hmm.
all these like awesome like Sith lords, man, and
Yep.
Jedi's, man. You know that hasn't been explored by the Star Wars universe, and this
Exactly.
might open it up, man. So
I
you
hope so.
know,
I hope so.
maybe
Because there's
we're,
so much cool stuff in those books that they could tap into.
dude.
I hope they
You know,
do, man.
like this would kind of like bring like full circle, right? Like
Yep.
so how was this all created? Like I mean, they're not gonna go by the books. Maybe the first like Sith Lord was like was Sion, right?
Yeah.
Like who was
Hmm.
who was Thrawn? You know, like went
Yeah.
back in time and like
Hmm.
got tore up and like took over this world of witches and now he asked him to give him power and put him back together and now we got this whole nother world. So it could just not be a place. It could be a time. Could be a time
Yeah.
and place or place and
Hmm.
time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, all this stuff was thought about, like, by Filoni, like in his infancy, man. Like he's been thinking
Hmm.
about this stuff for like 30, 40 years, man. And now he's finally put it on paper. Why would you bring this, man? A place that you can explore, space and time, and not go back in time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah. Yep. This is like the perfect vehicle
right.
for him to be able to do exactly the things he wants to do, or leave it open for other people that might show up in the future and start giving him input on other projects that they want to
Yeah.
do. Right. This is like it's like the cup. It's empty right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they can fill it with whatever they want and pour it into any container they want.
Because let's get serious, man. Let's be serious though, right? Like, how much can you do with with a span of 20 years of like Star Wars? I'm talking about Star Wars timeline. Between like Clone Wars and like
Hmm.
episode 9. Like I mean I know we're gonna do the Ray thing, right? Like that's the whole. I mean
Hmm.
that's just in production. That's just all hearsay,
Yeah.
right now. Like, but like like we've already kind of filled all the gaps, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like now let's go explore another different in time, maybe different universe or different like like I don't know what multiverse if you want to say it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like it just opens up a lot more space to be
Hmm.
creative because
Yep.
you can't be too creative anymore, man. I mean, they like I mean maybe a lot of the creativity is kind of running out in Star Wars of like in this Skywalker saga, kind of like
Yes.
Jedi saga,
Yeah. Yeah.
like with only a couple of Sith lords, like
Hmm.
like how many? I mean, and it's still not, and it's all starting to not make sense. It's not things aren't connecting anymore like they should be. You
Yeah.
feel me?
No,
Like
totally,
it's
absolutely.
like
The
yeah,
water's getting muddy,
it's
right? Like
getting
it's
muddy,
like
bro.
there's too many like things being thrown into that pond, and it's just like, you know what? Maybe it's time to jump into a different puddle. That's why I think like Rogue One was so refreshing,
Hmm.
right? Because it was like it was a break from that.
Yeah.
There was hints of it. Obviously, Vader's there, but there was like things that they talked about, but it wasn't just like, hey, you know what? Like space knights with laser swords. It was like other things that had to do with that, and a little
Hmm.
bit of space knights with laser swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the
So,
hard part is, I mean, I like all these ideas, but making the general public care about new characters. Everybody's so used to seeing shows with the old guard, so to speak. So if they do it, I'll watch it for sure, but they have to be really enriched characters that people, will gravitate towards, like we did with, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia,
yeah.
Chewbacca, and everybody else. When those movies first came out, everybody was enthralled by them. And Star Wars has been around now for over 50 years. I'm not talking about their universe, but just in shows and movies. And it's going to be hard for people to pull people away from these characters and start a whole new generation, so to speak. I think it's going to be difficult.
But
Yeah.
man, Filoni's always kind of challenged like
Yeah,
the Star
he's
Wars
good.
lore.
Yeah.
He like he challenges it with Sabine. Like
Yeah.
he's like, you don't have to be a Jedi and be force sensitive. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like
Yeah.
he's challenging us. He's like, that's
Mhm.
why I like him, man. He's like treating us like adults. Like he's like
Well,
he's
they
like
have
he's like, I know you're gonna hate it, but you could take it, man. You could take it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be a Jedi to be force sensitive. You just have to have like heart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
they have the right person in charge. with Filoni for sure.
Exactly.
For sure, man. I mean,
That gives us hope. So.
He's done it with Sabine too. Because come on, man, you guys are old guys like me. When Clone Wars came out, you guys hated Sabine too, right? Like I was like, dude, I hate her.
She's just
like
annoying.
I hate it. She's annoying as hell. This snips, bro.
Dude.
Like I would see her and change the channel, but like I'm tired of this stuff. But I would watch it all the way through, and I got to like her as she matured.
Yeah.
Like like he like challenges. He's like, you're not gonna like it now, but I have a plan. He's not just like saying like, I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna let's see where this goes. Like this dude, I mean, George Lucas didn't make him his Padawan for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows, man. Like George Lucas is like, here, you're my Padawan, bro. Like I remember I watched this documentary of Filoni talking about George Lucas, and George Lucas is like, like something like he goes, a master Jedi always has a Padawan. There are always two. And he looked at Filoni, like there are always two. And he's like, that's when I realized I was his Padawan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is a reason why this is happening, man. Because Filoni and we trust, man. That's all I'm saying. Filoni and we trust, right? Filoni we trust, man. So
agreed.
We see this here, man. Like you guys know my theory. I kind of jumped ahead, man. I'm thinking she's going to this planet because she needs to save, her ancestors from Thrawn. You know what I'm saying? I think Thrawn's just taken over. You know what I'm saying? And Ezra's reaching out. I think Ezra probably reached out to her and reached out to is reaching out to Sabine. And it was like, I need your help, man. This is what's happening. But that could not happen. It could be the totally opposite. He could be going conventional way, man, which is all good with me. But I kind of want to be treated like an adult, and I'm not on shrooms, but it sounds like a fun story to me, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think it'd be cool.
Go back to the other picture, the one right before this. Go back to that. Okay, now you see the whole out. You see how this looks, all the lines and everything going around. Now go on to the next picture. It kind of reminds me of it. Now that I'm seeing them, side by side, they have all these lines, in that world. So yeah, maybe there is some connection. Gosh.
Yeah, I just I mean, from the beginning, it told me it wasn't a place. When she went into that, when Ahsoka went into that temple, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I was like, bro, if this was like Indiana Jones, this wouldn't be present. This would have been a couple 100 years old. You know what I'm saying? They're not going back to a place. They're going back to a time, I think, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just me, man. I think maybe it's a place and a time. Maybe it's a place 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, man. But it should be, it should open up stuff, man. So, and you can see, man, it's if you see where they're headed, it's totally off, the grid, man.
Way outside.
Maybe that's a universe, and they're just traveling back in it, into another time, or and then maybe another dimension, or another universe, or multiverse. I don't know, man.
Well, when we look at the stars, if we see some planet, in the stars, we're looking into the past. By the time it comes to us,
exactly.
So that makes sense,
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just, I'm just an old Star Wars guy.
I like that theory, though. I think that would be a really cool way to go, because just like we were talking about, it would open up so many more avenues for them to do things like that, explore other parts of the Star Wars universe that aren't in the normal sphere of what everyone's used to dealing with, like we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I would like to see from this, this whole little Star Wars this time, this time span they're exploring right now, Disney and, Filoni, is I would like to see the death of Mandalore, how that came to be.
Oh yeah. That'd be cool.
Because the only time we ever saw it was in the Mandalorian, when they blew up the Mandalore, when they dropped all the bombs and they had the Terminator robots,
Yeah, exactly.
But
that'd be cool to see, though. You're right.
But that would be cool to see, right? Other than that, man, I think we've kind of squeezed out all the juice, bro. I mean, am I the only one? There's no more pulp left in this, man.
Exactly.
I
agree.
What are we gonna do? Are we just gonna do day 5,677 out of a million, and then that's a film? You're like, okay.
Well, I believe there's 5 episodes left in Ahsoka. I think I heard there were 7 episodes. So, we'll see what happens. some of these theories, I think they have some footing on them, you know.
Mhm.
So we'll see. Like I said, every episode now is just going to be, you know, one a week, I believe. And I myself didn't like the 2 episodes back to back. I want them to stretch it out as much as possible, because all these shows on Disney Plus or other streaming services, they're never like a normal 20 plus episodes, you know. So hopefully this is stretched out, and hopefully the last episode is more than an hour. You know, that's what I'm hoping for.
I hope
Me
so
too,
too.
man.
I saw somebody posted the minute counts, and they said we should be increasing, not decreasing. The next episode is supposed to be shorter than the last 2.
Yeah.
So I'm just like you said. I hope they get longer and longer, and
Yes,
keeps
definitely.
going.
Yeah.
No, I think it's. I mean, I think it's gonna be good, man. I just want to be, you know, blown off, and but you know, my not blown off, but but my socks blown off, you know, by like
Yeah.
by Filoni, man. I think he could do it, man. You know what I'm saying? He did it with, you know, he did an awesome job with, like, you know, with Clone Wars and the ending that we took us like how long, like 10 years to get, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and then with the Mandalorian has been awesome. And Rebels have been awesome. The first 2 episodes of this have been awesome. And you can totally tell when it's Filoni, you know, when he wrote it, like the pacing, you know, the
For
pacing,
sure.
man. You
Yep.
know, so, but hey, man, before we go, man, tell them where they can find you. Go ahead, F.
Yeah, catch me when I'm drinking water, man. I can be found on my YouTube channel, Passpoint Comics. I'm always doing videos about comic book, TV shows. Yeah, I'm on Instagram posting. I'm doing a giveaway on my channel right now. On my YouTube channel is my video from today. All you have to do is leave a comment on the video, and you're in for the running. And I'm going to run it in about 2 or 3 weeks. Somebody gets 2 CGC comic books, courtesy of Lightsaber Comics. They gave me the books out of the generosity, you know, of their heart, you know. So, and I'm always just posting videos, doing YouTube shorts, and I'm always on Instagram posting pictures. So I'm just trying to have a good time with it, you know, basically it. That's why I wanted to do, when Ian said, hey, you want to do Ahsoka, you know, I said, sure, you know, yeah, let's do it, you know, have fun, you know, all these weird theories though, man, see if any of them pan out.
Man, but you know, man, I think in the next one, if we have some more better, like, you know, a lot of good content and more ideas to spin around, I think we could do this again, you know, but it has to be a good episode. So I'm not going to tell y'all if we're going to do it or not. I kind of,
Well,
I got to decide.
Definitely, we should do, if we only do one more, we should do like at the end of the series.
Oh, for sure.
And
That's a
just
good
see,
idea.
you know, what happened and if anything's going to happen after this series, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how it'll be called. Like Ian was really high. That one. Go ahead, Craig.
It'll be like it'll say Hood's mushroom trip is finally ended.
I know.
We'll see where it's going from there.
It'll have a big thank you. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm always I'm posting all the time on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel as well. Same thing, Space Ferret Collectibles on both of those. Yeah, and I hope we come back at the very end, or maybe 1 or 2 more, and do a few more, or one more big one, and see where all this like leads to, where all the dots connect to, where we're going next, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool.
I can't wait either, man. And you guys know me, man. I'm Hood, man. So thank you guys, man, for joining us, and thank you, you know, to Efren and Craig for hanging out, man. That was fun, man. I got to spin you out on my own little world, man. It's been going on in my head since I've been sick. You know, like when you're sick, man, like you have the weirdest dreams, and I was just dreaming about it. So I was dreaming about all these dumb theories, man. So
nice.
But it's been awesome, man. Remember to like and subscribe if you want some more trips, you know, from the hood. You know, like. But we'll catch you next time. Later, guys.
Bye.